Never forget memorials across the country and in Alabama 22 years after the terror attacks of September 11th.
Also a week of commemoration. Lessons learned 60 years after the bombing of the 16th Street Baptist Church.
And looking ahead, hear from head coaches for the Tide and Tigers, one after a loss, the other after victory.
Live, local, late breaking. WVTM 13 News at 4 starts now.
Welcome in. Today, America remembers one of the worst days in our history, the September 11th attacks 22 years ago.
As Alice Barr shows us, survivors and families of the victims gathering across the country to honor loved ones as the nation's dignitaries offer words of comfort.
Today, as the nation pauses to remember
Jeremy Joseph Ahern.
Names of the lives forever stopped on September 11th, 22 years ago, filled the silence.
We love you. We miss you. We can't replace you.
From the World Trade Center in New York to the Pentagon and Shanksville, Pennsylvania, loved ones sharing deeply personal memories.
You are forever our hero and angel.
From a vast web of loss that stretches across America.
You may have been torn from us that day, but your love and memories will never be torn from our hearts.
President Biden returning to the U.S. from Vietnam, stopping at a military base in Alaska, paying tribute to the many soldiers who joined in response to the terror attacks that claimed nearly 3,000 lives and reshaped American foreign policy. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin speaking from the Pentagon.
We will always work to keep America safe, and we will always, always remember.
In a painstaking process, the remains of two more 9/11 victims have now been identified, but more than 1,000 families still wait, speaking the names of those they lost.
Love you, Phil. Talk to you later.
To ensure they never fade away. This story of loss is ongoing. The Uniformed Firefighters Association says there have now been nearly as many New York City firefighters who've died of post-9/11 illnesses as the 343 who died in the attacks. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And we are still feeling the tragic impact of 9/11 here in Alabama 22 years later.
A Jacksonville hometown hero, Dwayne Williams, died when the plane he was in hit the Pentagon. His family and community held a ceremony in his honor today. WVTM 13's Magdala Lusant is live at the city's Veterans Memorial Park. Magdala.
Good afternoon, Brittany and Ian. Well, for 2 decades, friends and family have been coming here to Jacksonville Veterans Memorial Park to remember Dwayne Williams, and we saw his family, his brother, and others lay a wreath out here in his honor. It was on September 11th, 2001, when he was one of the 188 people killed when the plane hit the Pentagon in Dulles, Virginia. Well, after his death, his mother Pearl worked hard to raise money and get this monument placed here in his memory. One person missing today is Miss Pearl. Roy, Dwayne's younger brother, tells me their mother, 81 years old, is bedridden and battling Alzheimer's. So he now carries the torch of keeping Dwayne's memory alive.
He was not only a great military leader on the field, but he had such a giving heart. My brother did not get a chance to walk his daughter down the aisle like I will one day. He was not here for the birth of his grandchildren, but his legacy remains alive.
In ways that his legacy remains alive, there are 2 books written in his honor, and there are buildings on the campuses of Jacksonville State and the North Alabama University named after Dwayne Williams. Now, today we did get a chance to hear from people who worked with him while they were in the Army, and you'll hear from one of them at 5 o'clock. We're live in Jacksonville. I'm Magdala Lusant, WVTM 13.
Magdala, thank you. More September 11th coverage on our WVTM 13 app, including first responder deaths post 9/11, now equal to the firefighter deaths that day back in 2001. And it's been almost 60 years since what many consider the state's most horrific hate crime.
Yeah, back on September 15th, 1963, Klansmen bombed the 16th Street Baptist Church, killing 4 little girls. And over the next several days, the city of Birmingham will come together to commemorate that historic day. I want to get out to WVTM 13's Lisa Crane joining us live out in front of the church, which much more on some of those activities planned for the week ahead.
Yeah, those planned activities actually started yesterday and will continue throughout the week. People from all over the country are coming here to Birmingham to take part. Today we met with a group of teachers, many of them civics and history teachers, and they're all here to learn how to teach hard history like the bombing. They're taking part in a conference at Bethel Baptist Church, which was also bombed 3 times in the 50s and 60s. They're learning how to make Alabama's civil rights history relevant for their students and how to learn from our history to move forward together. The pastor there says as difficult as it is to acknowledge our violent past, some good has come from it.
It also allowed us to come up with better ways to deal with our differences. You know, after the bombing of 16th Street, not everyone agreed with integration because that was one of the main things that was over. But they did say we've got to find a constructive way to voice our differences and to talk about our differences. Bombing churches, killing little girls is not the way to solve it.
Now it is called the 2023 Forging Justice and Commemoration Week, and it's going to include the Conference on Healing, its art interpretations, a film screening. Several dignitaries will be in town, including a keynote address from Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. Now you can see a full list of all the activities, their times and locations on our website, WVTM13.com. Live in Birmingham, Lisa Crane, WVTM 13.
Let's take you outside this afternoon once again, show you how things are looking over downtown Birmingham. Warm and sunny out there on a Monday, but we're going to start talking about a little bit of fall-like weather.
All right, yeah, we're pretty excited. Chief Meteorologist Jason Simpson is joining us now. Jason, I think we'll welcome that change.
We're moving that way. Let's not get too excited just yet about the idea of cooler weather. True, it will not be like this much longer, though. 91 in Birmingham with a feels like at 92. It is 90 in Bessemer, 91 in Chelsea, 86 at Moody, 83 Trussville, 89 in Norwood, and 84 in Vestavia. A lot of 90s out there, including a 93 in Tuscaloosa and Pell City. Gadsden at 87, Haleyville and Coleman are in the upper 80s right now. And we've been watching a few little isolated showers around the metro area. A couple down here close to Hoover right now. This is WVTM 13 live Doppler radar. It's raining right on top of Hoover High School and out around the Met and then up into the River Chase area. A few other spotty showers are possible throughout the rest of the afternoon and evening, but there's a better chance of some scattered storms coming up tomorrow. Still in the 90s on Tuesday. Showers and storms will pick up throughout the day into the afternoon. If you haven't had rain lately, tomorrow and Wednesday are your best chance this week, but as we get into the weekend, we have a better chance of rain overall. We'll show you how that's going to work out in the 7-day forecast coming up. Ian and Brittany.
Jason, thank you. The Crimson Tide looking ahead to hitting the road playing South Florida this coming Saturday.
Yeah, this comes after losing to Texas at home this past weekend. The Tide dropping to 10 in the AP poll after the loss. Here's what head coach Nick Saban had to say just a few hours ago.
We made explosive plays, but we weren't consistent enough in terms of developing identity, to use your term. But the identity that we'd like to have is to be physical enough to be able to run the ball consistently, effectively, but also be able to have a good play action game to go with it, be able to drop back when we need to, and be efficient and effective in all those areas.
The Auburn Tigers looking to keep their winning streak alive, playing Samford at Jordan-Hare Stadium this weekend.